AskReddit by RedMambo06. Redditors with younger co-workers, what was your I'm officially old moment? My childhood cat lived to 21.5, so teaching freshman biology lab, so students were 18. Became very weird when I realized my cat was older than my students. How much biology did your cat know, though? I'm a preschool teacher. It's been a trip to watch parents go from so much older than me to the same age as me, and now they're younger than me ? Wait till you get some kids you had as preschoolers being the parents bringing their kids in. Had a coworker ask me, back before cell phones, did you just have to wait around at your house for a call up? Yeah, pretty much. Reminds me of having to explain the concept of collect calls to my kids. The whole speed speaking where you were for pickup during the recording so your mama never accepted the collect call. Various colleagues were debating whether the Concorde had been real. They couldn't fathom that supersonic civilian aircraft used to exist and now they don't anymore. The Concorde last flew in 2003, when these colleagues were toddlers. My grandma and aunt flew on the Concorde in 2003 and my grandma stole their silverware cause it was actual silver, from what she said. They won't be flying much longer anyways, they won't miss it. When I fell down the last couple of steps on a stairway, no one pointed and laughed like I expected. Instead they helped me up and asked me if I was okay. That's when I knew. The age when you transition from he fell down to he had a fall. We were talking about where we were on 9/11, and my coworker went quiet. He wasn't even born. We also had a band that was famous in the 90s stay at the hotel, and he had no idea who they were. Meanwhile I was so starstruck as they were my entire childhood. My much younger sister works in a hotel and said that someone she served was in some band called Queen. They started calling me mom or mama bear on the walkie-talkies. I find it kind of endearing, actually. Went off to school as a non-traditional student and was required to live in the freshman dorm. Being 25ish on a floor of 17 and 18-year-olds was a bit odd. I had spent a bit of time traveling the world, working different odd jobs, just gaining life experience, and these kids were in middle school just a few years before. Ended up being everyone's de facto big brother uncle. My now wife's roommates called us mom and dad because we had our shit together and made sure everyone had a nice home cooked meal while we doled out life advice. Our little family still keeps in touch. In trade school, we were doing introductions, saying a little bit about ourselves. One kid says, yeah, I'm really into classic cars. I have a 1997 something or another. Me, the other couple older folks, and the instructors all made audible groans of horror. One of the young men saw my 2004 Pontiac GTO and said, I love those old cars. I thought about that. All of my new toys are early 2000s. I hate everything. They were complaining how hard and awkward it is to meet women on Tinder. I asked if they ever had to call a girl at home and her dad answered the phone. They were horrified. Another time one of my guys asked what a payphone was. We worked at a phone company. A new young male co-worker recently asked what app I met my husband on. I met him at a summer camp like 15 years ago. He then lamented about how hard it is to find a girl to date as he scrolled through profiles. I also once overheard a co-worker talking about how he can't stand when people are 35 and trying to keep up with fashion and style. Like, you're old, just get some jeans, a polo and New Balances. I was 34 so that was frightening. Had an intern refer to the 90s as the late 1900s. WTF, it's true, but it makes my teenage years sound like the Oregon Trail or something. Heard turn of the century used to refer to the 2000s the other day, and I shriveled into a raisin on the spot. I'm in it. Coworker needed to borrow a serial cable. The cable was older than the coworker. That makes sense. Serial went out of style in the late 90s. At least RS-230 to type. Still a ton of USB everywhere. Edit. Since it keeps coming up, I'm aware of the various places serial keeps showing up. But the broad majority of those interfaces are designed for technicians or tinkerers, and the general populace do not use it day to day nearly as often as we did from the dawn of the PC to the late 1990s. Went grocery shopping and I thought, hey, they're playing some pretty good music. My grocery store plays rap songs about grocery shopping, in that specific stall mayo. I find it hilarious. When they say you look great for your age like dead. I thought you were our age by someone 5 years younger than me. We're both adults now, I am your age. Years ago, before I retired, when I met a new young troop and realized I'd been in the military longer than they had been alive. That was my cue to start putting together my retirement packet. When that guy from Smash Mouth died. Guess the years stopped coming. Younger dude said his first gaming console was the PlayStation 4, first computer and Windows 8, and had no idea what we meant by dial-up or rotary phones. Had to stop and re-evaluate my age lol. A friend and I were working at a summer camp and had to bring our Gamma Boys to work one day to demonstrate that yes, we had multiplayer back in the day, and yes, this was the only way to do it. Our payroll company went under, luckily not with our money, so for that month, we got real live, honest to goodness paper checks. Several co-workers didn't really know what they were or how they could turn them into money. I had a young co-worker not know how to write a check. He'd never used a checkbook before. A co-worker and I were talking and they said say less. I replied oh, okay, and I walked away confused. I had to Google what that meant after. Had to Google this. For those wondering, it means I understand or I get the gist or I agree, something along those lines. When they absolutely love a new song and then I tell them it's a remake of a song from 25 years ago. They almost always try to tell me I'm wrong, until I pull up the evidence and then it's shocked Pikachu face lol. Fast car being played on the radio all the time now lol. When I accidentally referred to it as the Discord instead of just Discord. That one can be saved. Yeah, the Discord I just joined. The server. I made a half-baked reference to a bunch of stoner kids and they didn't get it. How yesterday at work I said I'm not gonna do what everyone thinks I'm gonna do and freak out. But I'm outta here. Who's coming with me? 44 Yoko worker lol. 20 Yoko worker just looked at me side eyes like I'm dumb. I'm a female computer geek. I was running cables with this guy at work one night, and he kept trying to keep me out of the actual work part. I finally told him I've been doing this since before you were born. That was about 25 years ago, and as of right now, I've been working in the computer field for 44 years. What was it like working on the ENIAC? They used lingo I've never heard at the time. He says that's fire and I kind of mockingly repeat it, but I didn't do it exactly like how he said. I was like that shit's on fire and he laughed at me and was like nah man it's just fire, lol. I've been told we're not supposed to say lingo anymore because that's old. Co-worker, hey, a few of us are going out Friday night, wanna come? Me, sure. CW, great. Meet at my place at 11. Me, wait, 11 PM, okay, to myself, that's when I was planning on going to bed. I'm 21. I'm not going out at 11 either. Who does that lol? I'm tucked into my bed and fast asleep. Getting a blank stare after saying we'd meet. Same bad time, same bad channel. Similarly use the forceps. Luke during a dissection got nothing except my name isn't Luke. When I couldn't decipher the two youngest co-workers' parts of the conversation, I had to search what some words meant. I'm low-key struggle bus today. There's some hasty Urban Dictionary searches at work for me. Edit, you're making me feel even older. I just know these were phrases I had to actually look up when my 22-23-year-old co-workers were using them. When they said they went to high school with my daughter. I joined a new company last year and I have a very unique last name. A new co-worker asked about it and turned out he worked with my dad 33 years ago, 3 years before I was born. I think that one was wild for him. I work at a brewery part-time as a beer tender, aka bartender, for extra income and free beer. I'm 45, and most of them are in their early 20s. I like all of them, but boy, did I realize quickly that I was out of touch with today's slang in the US. We were trying a new beer, and my co-worker was like, damn, this really slaps, and that was followed by no cap by another. I stood there so confused about what these guys just said. They have all taught me much more since. That's bussin'. My 9-year-old complimenting the dinner I made. When someone tried to set me up with their mother. Deleted. I'm a 5th grade teacher and last year I went to sit on the floor with a group of students who were working on a math problem. As I was slowly getting down to the floor, I have a terrible back. One of the girls held up her hands and said, "Wait. Don't get down here. The last time you got down on the floor, I had to help you get back up. Now, where's my bill?"